What's popping, Guardians? It's been a really long while, and I do apologize, but it will be for XYZ reasons, so we're not going to really go too much into it because we are running out of time. Renegades is about a month from now, so I want to get as many videos as I can possible. We'll start reigniting the YouTube channel shortly, be uploading this build video and other clips. I do have a good amount of projects on the way, so just stay tuned for a variety of hunter builds, titan builds, warlocks builds, some weapon reviews, and probably final thoughts going into Renegades. No, I'm not putting Destiny. I will not stop until the servers are completely shut down and they're just completely off. But yes, I do take breaks from time to time. Normally, I just don't post anything, so kind of that, but also because midterms was around the corner, so focusing on my 6 college classes is pretty tense. So with that out of the way, let's go straight into some clips and then we'll go into the build details. So if you happen to miss out on the Radiant Stab Stream metas, you are lucky because this exotic was insanely reworked and it was in a super overpowered state, and to this day some hunters still use it just because it's still very nice, but you're not going to see it as prominent as you used to. But if you're not too sure on what it does, it gives you some airborne effectiveness, hip fire, which is very important, range accuracy for weapons that use primary ammo. This is fantastic, and of course if you think anything that buffs hipfire, you should think, oh, Last Word or DMT or even the freaking shotgun hand cannons. Yes, it works really consistently with those. So yeah, this is an exotic that gets you started with all those very fun but cheesy guns. Final blows with primary ammo weapons return dodge energy, which can overflow to create additional charge when full. This part is why we're using this, because yes, you can get up to 3 ensnaring slam charges, which means 3 clones, which means 3 reloads, which means that you can mag up enemies back to back. In PvP, you only need 1 kill in order to get 1 charge. In PvE, you need 3 just to get 1 charge, but here you only need 1. Later on, as we'll be explaining the kill chaining you'll be able to do, yes, you'll be doing this back to back. You'll basically slam into the enemy, get a kill, slam into the next enemy, get a kill, slam into the next enemy, get a kill, and you just go on forever until someone stops you. let's talk about the subclass. We're gonna look at the aspects, and the aspects being Ensnaring Slam and Threaded Spectre. Why am I not using Grapple? Why am I not using even the Beyblade aspect? Funny enough, Bungie a good while ago did make it so these two aspects can activate at the same time, along with your Marksman dodge or your Gambler's dodge if you plan on using that. I highly recommend more so Marksman dodge, just because it makes it so for your last word you can reload, or for any of your other weapons you reload, and it also collects nearby ammo boxes, which is great in PvP. And it is a massive game changer now that Ensnaring Slam can activate Threaded Spectre, because you can also make your Threaded Spectre be in the way and be your last ditch effort to get the final blow and the damage that you need. Even the Threadlings are still pretty strong, and they also ripped the nerf from a long time ago where your Threaded Spectre can't be activated by your own shots, that it has to be the enemy. So the enemy of course is going to be right in front of your Threaded Spectre when suspended up by Ensnaring Slam, which also, funny enough, this build has been slowly getting like more and more buffs, and it's actually really crazy. Now when you spend enemies, you gain Woven Mail, and you spend one target in PvP, it's about 4 seconds. And honestly, now that Woven Mail makes a big difference, because there are a lot of times where the enemy can't hit your head. So when they're trying to hit for body shots, it's not doing a lot of damage. I think it's like a 30% damage reduction in PvP. So this is just a insane buff that it's been getting slowly and slowly. And before we get into the fragments, Chakra Grenade is the only grenade that you should be taking. Yes, a lot of people like to use Grapple or even Threadling Grenades, which would be in theory what you want to use. But in reality, Chakra Grenade is what helps you get more Suspends out, so that way you can get more benefits from your Radiant Stat machines with the Marksman dodge stacking. Of course, your focus is slightly on grenades, so you're going to want to always take Threaded Ascent and Threaded Generation. Generations, when you deal damage, it gives you grenade energy. And Threaded Ascent, of course, just gives you a nice empowerment when you activate your grenade, and gives you a decent amount of weapon stats. It's not important, and honestly in PvP, the weapon stat is useless, but nevertheless, it's something for at least a little bit of handling scaling. So in all forms of Suspend, the 3 fragments that we have left are Thread of Wisdom, Thread of Continuity, and Thread of Mind. Continuity, what it does is that it increases the duration of Suspend. That's fantastic, because remember, a long time ago Suspend used to be a lot longer, but in PvP it's a lot more shorter. This kind of fixes it, makes it a lot more easier, especially when sometimes you just need that 1 extra second to get that target dead. Thread of Mind makes it so when you defeat suspended targets, it gives you class ability energy. This is nice so when you have 0 charges of your dodge, so whenever you did dodges to someone and you suspended them with the slam and you lose your only charge, this gets you about 1/3 of it back when you get that kill, alongside with the Radiant Stat machine, which is going to give you about 2/3, so you only need just a little bit more to fully get a full charge back, which lets you do the loop all over again. But most importantly, Thread of Wisdom, defeating suspended targets creates an Orb of Power. This Orb of Power is very crucial, because it's one of the steps that you need in order to get your full HP back, so you're ready to just chain kill like crazy, and it's gonna feel somewhat like Devour. I'll explain more when we go into the mods. So let's talk about mods, set armor bonus, and your stats. Your ideal stats, of course, in PvP, it's always going to want to be high health, because you're going to want to recover as fast as you can in every fight. And also, it's just super strong in PvP. Like, it's not really much of a reason to use anything else other than 100 super. And in this case, you're going to want at least 70 class ability. I think you can do 60, but 70, just the 7 tier, is the ideal place to be, because you want to make sure that your Radiant Stat Machine gives you your full charges that you get when you get a kill on the stacks. Because of course, now the class stat scales for any type of source, just anything outright whatsoever. You want to have a decent amount of grenade just so you can feel your suspend grenade come back a lot quicker. Your melee is not super important, and also the weird thing about the threaded spike is that when you do return it back, that kind of ignores the way that the new stat system works. It still gives you based on amount of hits done, so it's about, I think, like 5 hits gives you about the total duration, but if you only hit 1, then of course it's mitigating about like 20-30 points of melee, so it's not really super important. Of course, the weapon stat is useless, and the super is very important to have, especially if you're going to use this in trials. Set armor bonus, I believe still to this day, Iron Banner's set is the strongest for PvP. Like, all of these bonuses just for getting your shields low or broken, it's just amazing, especially the ammo generation and blitz resistance. It is nice. I will show you later an alternative when we do switch up the weapons, but this is still going to be the best option, if not Last Discipline or whatever else you can use. But again, I'm not going to be surprised if we enter Renegades and there's just no another Iron Banner. Like, it's really funny how the time is ticking, and no signs of an Iron Banner week is going to come back. So if you didn't get this, just make sure to get it right away next time it's around. And as for mods, if you're using Last Word, especially if you're mouse and keyboard, you have to use at least 2 targeting. IMO 3 is better because you just make sure to get the most consistency shots possible, but you're still going to need to have some targeting for your sniper, depending on if you're going to use Finality or Cloud Strike. But if you're going to use anything else, to make sure to change the elements. And of course, you're going to want to have the staples of dexterity mods and also generation, because Last Word you don't need unflinching. Then you just make sure to use double generation and you get more ammo for your sniper shots a lot more easier. Holsters, of course, is very crucial. Now that Hunter's got the movement buff, 1 enhanced athletics is all you really need nowadays. You can go more if you really want to. I don't really notice much of a difference, nor do I really want to use more, just because it's very crucial to have something like Better Already or Orbs of Regeneration, so that way you get more class ability energy or anything else that you're missing. Now remember, Reaper procs on your class ability, your ensnaring slam, so make sure to use that along with Bomber, which also works in tandem. So remember, we made 1 orb with the Thread of Wisdom. Now with Reaper, you make another orb, so that's 2 orbs. That's giving you about 70 per health per orb. You're getting 140 health per grabbing of orbs. So yeah, you really feel that pseudo devour going on with this build when you get a kill after you slam into someone. Like, this is just a really amazing way to kill chain for free. This also works nicely with the Iron Banner set, as mentioned, because as your health gets lower and weapon final blows or your shields deplete, heal you. And it's about like 30 to 40 points, so you're nearly getting your full HP back if you get a kill on someone that was just about to kill you. Fantastic, so that way you can change your Radiant Stat Machines, which already was getting stacks to begin with in the first place. So I mentioned it shortly, yes, Arius, Neutralis, or any other shotgun hand cannon is very effective for this build, just because it's going to be a lot more consistent than Last Word. Sometimes Last Word, and especially on mouse and keyboard, can be very ghost bullety, and it's not fun, and it's very irritating. So whenever that happens, or if I need to make sure to lock in, I use a shotgun hand cannon, the little shorties, just because it makes it a lot more easier. And then I can start using Cloud Strike to really get a lot of insane kills like these right now. Ooh. Got him, there we go. Like, definitely it's nicer to be more. Yeah, he took the bait. Yeah, that's what it is. Come on. Hell yeah.
Yeah, they're looking at my body. That guy behind. Russian buddy.
You know what?
You can suspend.
Stay up there.
Oh, res, get res. Oh my god.
That's fine.
Oh my, oh, you pushed me. That's fine. I'm low. Help.
Spend it again.
My.
What was this engagement? What the frick?
I don't know.
Felt like we just played with our food or something.
Yeah. Well, I legitimately got killed.
But funny enough, we're retesting this build just to make sure that everything's working consistently as I wanted to, since it was getting buffs in between here and there. I did discover something that I feel very idiotic for not doing beforehand. And it's DMT, because it's a hipfire gun, and it's a lot more better on PC. And I don't know why it didn't cross my mind to do this, which also, funny enough, used a set bonus of Disaster Corpse. The first 2-piece, reloading a scout rifle after final blow slowly restores the health up until you re-enter combat. This can allow me to not really have a health staff because I already could heal in so many other different ways, and I would revert those points into something else. I don't really have the armor for it, I would have to farm that out. But I find it really funny that it took me this entire time to finally realize that. So yeah, use DMT with this build too. You can really use whatever weapons you want. It's actually a very versatile build. It's just that the hipfire bonus is very nice and you feel it more on weapons that already do really well on hipfiring. But you can really use so many different weapons, and yes, a bow makes this very possible. Currently the Festival of the Lost Bow would probably be one of the best options because you can get the Gamber's Archers, whichever hipfire thing that makes you shoot a lot faster after hipfire. I was slowly trying to grind it. I'm barely going to start doing that right now, but yeah, that's going to be an amazing option to have for this build. And yes, expect other hunter builds to very much be using that type of style with Radiant Data Machine. So let's go over the clips, and I very much urge you to pay attention to my health bar after each kill, because yes, this regeneration is super slow, but I time it just enough so when someone else is going to roll up upon me because they think that I'm already low from the previous gunfight, no, I'm full HP and I would have just enough just to out TTK him and be able to continue my kill chaining. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the love and support on the previous videos. We'll be slowly rolling back into uploading, and hopefully Renegades is going to bring us a lot more content. But I do very much have high hopes because, I mean, a lightsaber in Crucible is going to be quite funny. So let's be hopeful and let's see what happens. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and most importantly, take it easy, Guardians.